start off by shaking it so that way it's already like mixed around and everything like that. A bit. I'm gonna do, oops, I don't think it came out all the way. I'm gonna do one pump on my hand and I'm gonna apply just so that way I can move it around with a foundation brush. Let me bring you in a little closer. I never really do like reviews on these type of things, so bear with me. So I'm just gonna paint it on. I did hear that this foundation does oxidize, and I did get the shade 5. I wanted 6, but it was all sold out. Like, it was a really hyped up foundation. I've had this foundation for about a week, so I've been kind of playing with it, testing it and seeing, you know, what works best, how does it apply best and stuff like that, you know. I've applied it with a beauty blender, I've applied it with just foundation brushes. I've applied it like spraying a little bit of Fix Plus on my foundation brush to see, you know, how long it would stay, using a thick moisturizer, things like that. I've tried a bunch of different things to really see, you know, what gives me the best look. The one thing I do have to say is a little does go a long way with this, and you do have to blend pretty fast because it does dry down pretty matte really quickly. Always make sure you blend down your neck so you don't have any signs of demarcation at all, because that's not cute. And I just like to press it into my skin a little bit more, just in case there's any lines or anything. I feel like this makes it look a little bit more flawless. So there we go. Just blend this down. Honestly, I think that this looks very full coverage. I don't know if you guys are seeing that on camera, but pretty much all of my freckles are covered. I can still see a little bit of freckles, but like for the most part, it's pretty covered, and it's very, very, very matte. Like, it almost reminds me of the Estee Lauder Double Wear, but with a little bit more pigment, which I didn't really think was possible. I mean, because I always thought that was like the fullest coverage foundation that was ever around, you know, that you can go and get at a counter or something like that. So I was really impressed with that. Like, when I first put it on, I put way too much on. I was like, whoa. But I could always add in another layer. It's very buildable. I'll show you guys. I always like to add in, maybe like with any foundation, I literally just put in a little dab. I always like to add in a little bit around my cheek area. That's usually where everyone tends to have problem areas, you know. I don't need so much because, I mean, like I said, it really did cover most of it. I mean, I'm just doing this to be extra to show you guys that it can be buildable if you really like want everything to be covered. But for the most part, everything is covered. I have to be careful with my moles because I find that it does cover them. Not like completely, but like you can tell maybe there's something there, but it pretty much covers it, which is crazy because I've never had a foundation do that. It dries very quickly. I always tend to forget that. I would say just to do one side of the face first and then do the other side, because it takes a little bit of extra blending because it does dry down so quickly. But I'm not used to that because I'm used to like very hydrating foundations. So I'm gonna apply the rest of my makeup, do my hair, get ready, and I will be back. Okay, now that I've applied the rest of my makeup, did my hair and everything, I wanted to show you guys what the foundation looked like overall. I think it looks really, really full coverage. It really gives me a very matte look. The only reason why I look dewy right now is because I have applied highlighter. I do think it does oxidize a tiny bit, so keep this in mind if you are picking up a shade and you're not really sure which shade to go with. Always go with a little bit lighter than what you think you could be because you don't want to see any lines of demarcation on your neck or anything like that. I think that this foundation wears very, very good. I can wear it all day long and it still doesn't look almost like I put it on, because I don't really find that with any foundation, but it really holds up. It makes my bronzer stay on all day. If I do get a chance, I will try to check in later on tonight so that way you guys can see, you know, what it looked like throughout the whole day and me wearing it for a couple of hours and stuff like that. So I definitely would try to do that for you guys. But overall, I really, really like this foundation. I think it is a little pricier than what I'm used to because I'm not used to high-end foundations. I'm normally used to like drugstore type of foundations. But I do think it works really, really great if you have oily skin or combination skin. I have combination skin, but right now it is summertime, so I find that it works really good because it is summertime. I'm not really sure how it will work in the fall and winter months because I do tend to get a little bit more dry. But I do feel like I will probably already be almost done with this foundation because I've used it a couple times and I've noticed that it does go pretty quickly, which I was surprised about. I will show you guys the packaging. I think it looks really, really cute, the packaging. It's a very gunmetal color, and you are supposed to shake it before you use it, just like any foundation. It claims to be waterproof, longwear, and liquid foundation, full coverage, and a matte finish, and oil-free. I definitely like that it has a pump. I mean, any foundation that comes with a pump is a must in my eyes. I don't understand why they don't have pumps, to be honest with you. You can tell already where I've gone down a little bit, probably not on camera because of the lights, but I've gone down a little bit, about this much. I've used it a couple times this week and a couple times on a client already because they mentioned that they had really, really oily skin. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to test this out. And at the end of the day, she said that it wore so good. She was really, really impressed by it. So I was definitely excited about that. I don't have oily skin, so I don't really have a problem with makeup breaking up on my skin, but I was excited about this because I was kind of over all the dewy foundations and stuff. Like, I like to apply highlight to where I want to apply it and pretty much that be that. So I was really looking for a good full coverage matte foundation, and I definitely think this is it. I think it works really, really good, and I'm really, really impressed with it. Let me give you guys the claims that it says that it does, and I will tell you guys if I think that it performs to those standards. Okay, I did mention before earlier when I was getting ready that I do have the shade 5. I wanted to get 6. It was all sold out at Ulta when I went to purchase this. And I was really impressed because before I even purchased it, I had already had 2 people telling me that this foundation was amazing. So right off the bat, I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna purchase it anyways because, you know, one was somebody that was just picking up makeup there and was like, yeah, I just bought this foundation last week and it's really, really good. So if you're looking for a foundation, you should definitely get it. And I was like, okay. And then when I was checking out, the lady who was checking me out at Ulta was like, oh my gosh, I'm so obsessed with this foundation right now. It's so good, so beautiful coverage. She was wearing it and she looked absolutely flawless. So I was like, all right, Urban Decay, all right. So it's definitely very hyped about right now. I've watched lots of videos on this trying to see if I was gonna like it and if it was something for me. So I wanted to do a quick video for you guys and just show you guys what I thought and stuff like that. So it claims to be a full coverage matte finish waterproof foundation that lasts all night. To give you a very modern matte finish that never looks overdone. I definitely agree with that part. I think that it's very full coverage. You really don't need a lot of foundation like I normally would use. And you also do get a very, like, not very flat matte finish. But it's matte, but not like overly matte where it makes like dry patches on your face or anything. I don't have that problem with it at all. So I do agree with that. And it gives you a very flawless looking complexion. It says that it has, the thing that I found very interesting is that it did say that Urban Decay loaded this formula with a higher amount of pigment, about 3 times as much as a naked skin liquid makeup. So yeah, I definitely agree with all of those claims. I think it is a good foundation. And if you are interested and you do have oily to combination skin, I think you're gonna love this foundation. So I hope you guys like this video. If I don't check in with you guys later, this will be the final thoughts that I have. I really do like it. My favorite application is with the brush. It is $42 and I think it's worth the money. Okay, so the one thing I do have to recommend is that you find your perfect shade because it does oxidize a little bit, to keep that in mind. And also it is very full coverage, so if you don't have your perfect shade, you will really be able to tell that it's not a good foundation for you because it's so full coverage. You need it to really blend in with your skin. But other than that, I think Urban Decay did a really, really good job. I think oily skin girls are really rejoicing because they needed a foundation as well, because they've all been gearing towards the glowy skin, dewy this, highlighted this, and that for them, this is something that they would need, so that way they can apply the highlight where they want it to be. If you guys do like these type of videos, give them a thumbs up. I do love foundations, so if there is a foundation that you recommend me trying, or just any makeup product or any video that you would like me to do, just leave that down below. And thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.